Hi guys. I know I'm in my office and it's kind of blurry still with the light. I still need to get the light fix and or both figure out. My friend Marissa got me like a spotlight to use web shows. So excuse me, I'll have to figure out one of those. Derek is off today, so he's playing games, and I didn't want to be talking while he's playing games in the living room. So yeah, so sorry for the grainy. As long as you can hear me and see me, okay, that's fine. Make sure you type that you're here. Say hi, just so I know who I'm talking to. Other than that, we'll just have a good hour and talk about whatever awesome things you guys want to talk about. I mean, it's summer. It's excruciatingly hot, like ridiculously so. So I've been staying inside. Um, my workout regimen has not been good at all because of heat. I'm bad with heat, and lupus makes it much worse. But I'm trying to eat a little better, not much, but a little bit, or at least not as many calories. So we'll figure it out. I'll definitely get better, or that's my goal. So yeah, once you're on, just type your nickname or your name or whatever name you want to give here. I mean, you can say Edgar Allan Poe. That's totally fine with me. If you want to, I'll buy it for tonight. I'll be nice and buy it for tonight. All right, I'm going to let a couple people know that I'm on. People who are maybe interested. Real quick. I always hate texting on a video. But, it happens, I guess. I'm in the process of trying to sell some of my things just because. So my office is more of a mess than usual. On top of my manga shelf just decided to crash down on me last Sunday. Yes, I know I should have taken care of it before that, but I was just in a hurry and devastated. So I'm kind of like, yeah, don't want to deal with that at the moment. But it's all good. Rachel's on. All right. I see I have a viewer /fan/stalker, hopefully a friendly stalker. I said, who's my first Morgan's Angel tonight? I love Charlie's Angels. Hey, bud. Good to see ya or hear ya. No, you're good. You're good. You just kind of listen. Oh, hi, Jessica. I don't see you on the thingy. All right. It says chats connecting and reconnecting, so I don't know. It just kind of does these things. Jessica and Lonnie, you guys did such a good job on the convention. Congratulations. Your third year. It was so wonderful to hear how much your charities received. Everybody was super excited for the guest. Like, I actually had at least 2 people come to my table I knew, like, after meeting the animator for the Muppets and Jim Henson, like almost in tears and smiling so big from happiness. So good job, guys, on that. That was really awesome to see. I got to see a lot of great people. Got pictures with most of my peeps, not all of them. Dennis kind of like, I'd see him, but he'd be busy. And then I even followed him at one point. Then someone else is following him, and I'm like, I don't think he needs 2 people following him right now. So I missed a pic with Dennis, so he owes me one if he wants one. But if not, that's okay. I see Julie sent me something. It's Tigger. Oh my gosh, I love Tigger. I love Tigger. I love Winnie the Pooh. I love all those cool people. Say hi to Bree. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I need to try to get some more people in our wonderful community. That would be awesome sauce. I hear I'm pretty blessed, and I really am. But, the more the merrier, right? Absolutely. Oh my gosh. So I'm trying to think of stuff that's going on with me. I worked all summer school in June because I needed the money bad. I love my kiddos, but that was really exhausting because we had to stay an extra about hour plus with the kiddos every day, and then stay another half hour, I think, for teacher contract. So like the money was really good. I'm not gonna lie, but it was really tiring. So by that very final week, I'm just like, I'm so done. I know we got a message today saying that they are waxing the floors, so we got to be real careful, which I wasn't planning on going to the classroom for like 2.5, 3 more weeks. I'm going to wait as long as possible. I got my lesson plan set for the year. What I do is about a week before we start going back, I go to the Department of Education online. I teach K through 4th, sometimes K through 5th in one room. That's a lot of curriculum span. And I figure out I get my printout from last year, and I see what has changed over the summer curriculum wise by grade, and see if there's anything I need to not get rid of, but, not make us front and center, versus, especially with the older grades, since they kind of change topics, especially in science and social studies, depending on what the state decides that year. And then if there's things I need to kind of incorporate in there, and then I make a schedule, because my coworker does the science morning portion, I do social studies. There's some things we always do. There's some things we accommodate depending on the age of the kids, and then I find materials online. I have my 6 years of teaching, I've been able to accumulate quite a good number of materials, so that's good. I'm really glad about that. So I can kind of just pull what I need and modify what I need. I try to make copies as far in advance as possible. Or adjust things as far as possible, because again, since I have such a wide range of kids, and our kids are like a revolving door, because some kids go to different facilities, some get adopted, some go back home, some are just there temporary, some come back in a couple months. It's crazy. So never know what you're gonna get. So you just know you got to be there to educate and love the kids. So. And I basically know where everything I need in the classroom is. I know how I'm going to modify a few things. I might have to wait until a couple weeks after school starts for my first paycheck, which isn't until August 27th, which is really hard. But not really thinking about school right now. Once we have meetings and stuff, that'll be different. But I'm going to focus, like I did in July. I'm focusing on writing as much as I can for this manuscript, getting the last pieces together. My dream would be to get it done for CMOCon, which is in mid-September, at least the paperback edition. I can't promise that's going to happen, but I'm going to try really hard. My beta readers are trying really hard, and my editors and my publicist. So we will definitely attempt that. If it's not out by then, it definitely should be out by CapeCon, which is the very first weekend in October. However, I might be helping CapeCon be a handler again, because there's more Power Rangers coming. The RubyCast is coming, which is huge. So first they told me, yeah, we absolutely need you. Then they said, well, we might not need you, but we'll definitely, you're like on top of the list. So I got to be ready for anything. So I might need to grab an assistant, Lonnie and Jessica to trust, because they'll be with Heroes for Kids, of course. We'll figure that out, but I definitely am going to have it out. And then I'm going to take a 9-month hiatus from manuscript writing. I'm still going to do my websites and stuff. I might back off on Geeky Cool a little bit. I'll still do at least 2 articles a month for Larry instead of the 3. I'll still do my 2 for my website, because that's not a big deal. And of course, I'll be working on the audiobooks and Kickstarter. So I have plenty of writing to do, so I won't be out of practice. And I still have to write my newspaper article for school once a month, because I'm the communications person. I got voluntold, so yeah. One of my coworkers now. He's like, I'm working. I said, I'm just letting you know. So who do we got here? I know my hooligan is here. Jessica and Lonnie said they're here. Although, like I said, don't be afraid to comment, guys. Who else is with us in his house? I am not cool. I'm too Midwestern to say that. I'm sorry. Again, sorry for the bad lighting. Sorry for the Pepsi. My goal is just if I have to, which I had a little bit of a headache earlier, drink half a can a day when I have a headache. Hey, Alicia. How you, girl? But I had my water. I took it from the freezer and I let it out for a couple hours. Like, oh, it'll probably be nice and icy chilly, but drinkable by the time I do my show tonight. I was trying to pre-plan. No, it was still a block of ice. I opened it, almost exploded everywhere. So I'm like, well, Pepsi's only thing open right now. So I guess let's do that. But Alicia, it was so good to see you at the convention. She was smart and had an over jacket. Hi, Andy. So I was congratulating Jessica, Lonnie, Dennis, everybody at Heroes for Kids for a great job. I thought it was a great con. The energy was wonderful as always. All the guests were great. I knew or at least I'm familiar with about 70% of them, which is great. Because Sarah was my assistant, and the second I come in, Tess comes over and she's like, "Hi, Morgan." She gives me a big hug. And I had other people saying hi to me, and there's lots of people who I know your face. They knew my name, and I'm like, there's like 3 people. I'm like, I don't remember your name. I was like, hi, just real bubbly. Met some first-time conners. I always have like a little special con cheer and clap, which is probably why my voice is still a little hoarse. So that was really fun. And I actually sold a lot of things. Like I do little oddball things for like SEMO and Heroes for Kids, which are, they're all both blessings. I love Mr. Bill and Jessica and Lonnie and Dennis, of course. They give me like, I can kind of maneuver my table how I want. So then if I have room, I always bring my Pokemon stuff, but I can bring like extra anime I'm selling. I have clothes. I have some charity stuff for my anime club at high school to raise money for field trips. So my partner, the guy that was next to me who had excuse my language, he had such a badass motorcycle. Like it was this beautiful green. I told him I wanted a Kawasaki Ninja one day if I had to do a motorcycle. And I thought I was like being like a tough girl big shot. And he arched his eyebrows. He goes, I never understood foreign bikes. And I'm like, oh. I tried really hard. But he was so cool. We exchanged contact information and he told me not to be strangers. So I'd love to do an interview with him sometime. Met some other new authors that one of them bought 2 of my books and wants to do an online review and get me on a web show. And so I'll definitely be checking that out. Finally got to meet Eric Hawkins. I've heard so much about him. He's friends with all of my author friends. But he's a delight. So I felt like I was meeting a local legend with him. And I do have his Kickstarter series. I bought the 4th one was what the Kickstarter was. And I think he reached his goal in like 7 hours. And he's always like, he goes, yeah, I made more money, but I had less backers. So I know I'm happy, but I wish I would have had more, it would have been nice to have the backer numbers. And I'm like, dude, I want to be you. I'm really excited to read Zombieland of Oz, which I can show you guys. It's actually by me in my office, the cover, and he signed everything for me. And I'm going to do a little video probably after this one on my playlist for unboxings to show you some Etsy local creator stuff. It'll be a shorter video because I did a longer 50th one yesterday and I showed off all those backpacks I just added to Facebook. And yes, it's a lot. Yes, it was pricey, but I saved probably over 70% off all that big stuff because of some meticulous planning I've been doing. So yeah. But the con was great. I got to do my first panel at Heroes for Kids. I told Brian K. Morris, I always wanted to do a panel with him because I would see like Heroes for Kids and other Cape Con, like Kathy, Amy, Lonnie, Dennis, Jessica, Ken. They would all, like skip away with Chris at his photography and take these fun close pictures. And I was like, wow, maybe one day they'll invite me to the cool area. Like I wanted to be where the cool people were. And like, I know they love me, but I was just like, oh, but I never wanted to be like, hey, can I be a part of your picture? Hey, can I be a part of your panel? Because I know they love me, but I'm still, like I said, I feel like a little fish in a big pond. So and Jessica said, Brian needs people. And then she told me Saturday, she's like, Morgan, you're on the panel. And I'm like, okay, great. And it was with these people I don't know, but they were great. Almost like a professional comic book artist. He was very knowledgeable, spoke a lot, but very sophisticated. And I felt very intimidated because they're talking about relationships with your artist, which is a great topic. Don't get me wrong. But I'm like, my artist was my friend first. And I know that's not recommended. However, she was trying, and she's still trying to become like a professional artist and a manga artist. Like, she was doing that before I started becoming an author or wanted to become an author. So we were both pursuing careers. So it's not like, hey, she can draw good and she's just starting out. No, she'd already had some stuff under her belt for a couple years. And I have her older works, and she's definitely evolved, but she still takes my breath away, even with her works that are over 10 years old. And she's just like, oh gosh, stop it. Throw it away, throw it away. And I'm like, no. So I felt like very naive when I was like, oh, I want someone to be my friend. Because yes, you got to have that professionalism and you got to draw that line because of course it's your work, but also I understand that it's their art. Like, I know at one point she got stressed out because she was doing realism for Hunter, like a realism anime style, which is, I'm sure, challenging. I'm not an artist, but I'm sure it's very challenging for Hunter and Bringer. And I feel bad because she established that for herself with Spirit Vision. That was all her, and I loved it. And then everyone else loved it. I guess she felt like I had a lot of expectations on her. Hi, Sammy. So I had to convince her. I'm like, okay, well, why don't you still do Hunter and Bringer stuff and Spirit Vision? But, if I ever do a new series, I still would love you. If you want to do it, we can talk different styles. If not, I might have to go through that process of finding a new artist. Luckily, with my collections, since poetry and short stories don't sell as much, unfortunately, but that's okay. I understand. My publicist was able to, with stock images and us just collaborating, she has a lot of graphic knowledge to make beautiful covers that are fantastic. So they're not hand-drawn, but they're also fantastic, and I think really capture the aesthetic I want. So they all had these brilliant answers, and I'm just sitting here like, because they're like, is it harder to go into someone else's sandbox or to invite people to your sandbox? I'm like, dude, if I can get people in my sandbox to support me, we're going to have a party. So I've never professionally written with another writer. I've had people say we should. I've had people offer, and I'm all for it, but we'd have to really, understand each other. And I think that would be easier with a friend who can be professional and, critique and stuff like that. So they said I did a good job. I definitely was, like the little cotton candy you put on top of something, like you don't need it and it's overly sugary, but it's there. So I hope they realize that I feel like I am a real author. I get told sometimes I'm not, which is okay. Actually, I'm just rambling now about author stuff, so you can tell me to shut up if I'm boring you. My Lexi, my narrator for Hunter and Bringer, that you guys helped fund it with Kickstarter, yay! She and I were talking last night because I'm interviewing her and Logan for my website, and I was telling her because she goes, "Don't do imposter syndrome. I know that's hard because." She's got like 155 plus audiobooks under her belt. And she was going to this big audiobook convention in Chicago. It's for authors and audiobook narrators. They sell their stuff and they connect. And it's where like you can sell hundreds of copies of your book to people who come in. They have samples of what the narrators can do. There's workshops. There's like a masquerade ball. Like, it sounds amazing, but I was like, I can't afford that because it's coming up in like 2 months. But she keeps mentioning it to me, and I was like, I don't know. Like, these sound like some really important people. And she's like, well, there's authors of all stages of their career, and we have indie, small press, big press. she goes, I know there's lots of publishing houses, but you know how many there actually are that are big? I said, how many? She goes, there's only 5. Okay. She goes, so you can still reach towards that goal, but it's not a big deal. If you don't, if you're happy, that's great. If you're reaching an audience, that's great. So I thought that was really sweet of her to say that. So we were joking, like, maybe next year I could. It'd be a month after Fanboy, which is my big one. I have to really save up, and especially, I guess I could just buy copies of my book because I did discounts obviously throughout the year, and then of course I'll take some of the other cons, and then hopefully I'll have enough in stock. My publicist always says if you sell out, it looks good. I feel guilty, but she goes, no, it means you're popular. She goes, you can show them where to order it online, or they can do back order if they want an autograph and pay just a little bit of extra shipping, like nothing crazy. So, and I've done that before at Cape Con a couple times. So I might. And then I was trying to say, well, could Abby do it? My narrator for Spirit Vision. She's done 6 books now. Spirit Vision 2 will be her 7th. And she's like, yeah, we'd love to get Abby included in the organization. So, and they keep saying we appreciate you supporting each other. And my biggest thing is creative people supporting creative people, human beings creating and supporting each other. I mean, just be supportive of each other. Just clap and cheer for each other if you don't understand it. Love is love. Happiness is happiness. As long as you're not physically hurting somebody else or mentally, or you know what I mean? Like me writing books or me dressing up in a costume or something shouldn't bother you. So that's just what I feel. That's my little TED talk on that. But Heroes for Kids. Oh, I love the energy so much. Tabby and Brown, 2 of my closest friends, brought their 1-week-old baby, and he slept the whole time, and he was by the booth with the balloons popping. He's such a good baby. I was just like, wow. It was really cold in there, though, Jessica. I'm sure you guys have heard that. I remembered it was cold last year. I forgot my hoodie. I wore a dress without leggings. I'm like, I'll be fine. And oh my gosh, it was bad. I survived, so I wasn't really complaining. I saw people like exchanging hoodies and blankets and stuff. And poor Chelsea in her pretty tulle dress. I felt so bad. So there's that. But yeah, Alicia and Sam, you went. What did you guys like about the convention? I know Jessica, Lonnie, and Dennis. They would definitely probably love to hear what you guys have to say about that and everything. The cosplay parade was cute. I thought it was funny. I was the first one that started clapping. The people around me were looking at me like I was crazy. And then Sarah started doing it. And then once they got to Brian, he started doing it because I knew Brian would do it. So I was like, I thought that's what you're supposed to do. But I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. So it's all good. But yeah, it was great. Placement was good. I had that V formation thanks to my new neighbor. He was awesome. And like I said, I sold stuff I sold a couple dollar DVDs. I saw this lady. I had some bonker toys I got on eBay for super cheap. I just needed to get one for Derek, but they gave me a set of 5. So I sold them for like $1 a piece. And she like freaked out. It's like, oh my God, that's so cheap. And then she just handed me $3. Like I gave her the Holy Grail or something. So I'm like, okay. Sold a Sailor Moon poster to a very eager young Sailor Moon fan. That was great. Had a couple other people. I had one young man come back like 3 times and buy DVDs a couple of times. I saw him at SEMA last year, and he did that with me a lot last year too. So completely fine with me. So that was good. There was a button I've had for years from an anime I'm not familiar with. And someone gave it to me randomly. It was like in a random bag. And he was real excited and he contemplated, but he finally bought it. So I was like, wow, I've had that button, I think, for like 10 years. So props to him. I'm glad it's going to a good home. But that just shows you never know what's going to make people happy. So bring what you want. As long as you can fit it, bring what you want. I mean, Tabby and Nathan sell like naturally clean skulls. And I got to see families like be really excited about it and some that are like, but I think it would have been funny if they were with like the snakes and the owls and stuff. the snake wrapping around the girl when she was I think it's anaconda, or no, it's boa. Sorry, not anaconda, boa. It's pretty color, the yellow boa. It wrapped around her and then slithered up as she's like giving it kisses, and I was like, oh, that's beautiful, yet it scares me really bad at the same time. That's cool. The owl was really pretty. I didn't go touch it, but it was really cool. Yeah, Alicia, that's true. So I like that it is smaller. You know, our goal is one day. It's just like a community building, but people can still, express themselves and have fun. The kids' cosplays this year were top notch at Heroes for Kids, like absolutely top notch. I was very impressed. But yeah, you can just talk to the artist and feel like you're not really bothering them. Or if they're busy with a customer, you can walk around and come back. So it was definitely steady. I didn't feel like there was a long stretch where there was no people, because unfortunately that does happen sometimes with smaller conventions. But yeah, I really like that. You're right, Alicia. The pacing's very good. You guys did a great job. And having Villainous right there, they always smell so good. They're deliciously evil. Oh, Alicia, that's great. I wanted to go meet him, but when I finally got to walk around, he was gone. But I did look at the prints, and I got to talk to the young lady who I'm friends with, who was his handler, and she was like about to cry. She was so excited, and I was like, "Girl, I've done that when I got to work with Power Rangers, so same." But oh, I love the artwork he had. There was the Muppets, and they looked like they were in Robin Hood. And I saw Ralph actually had a prevalent role in the picture. And Rolf is my favorite Muppet. He's so underrated, but I love him to pieces. So I'm glad he was represented. It would have been nice to meet him. I saw him with the Kermit shirt. I was like, that's the guy. Yeah, promote yourself. Hashtag always promote yourself. Brian's always teaching me that. And I'm doing better at that. So yeah, I thought that was really, really fun as well. So I'm great. I'm glad you got to talk to him, Alicia. I missed Matt and John Anderson, but hopefully they'll be joining us again sometime. I saw Matt was doing something that weekend. Matt's my Southern charmer, and Mr. Anderson is a tall, amazing gentleman that acts very well. I like trying to find him now in like MCU properties. I'll look up like, oh, apparently he's going to be in this. So once it comes out, I try to find him now, which is really fun. So that's awesome, Alicia. I'm sure he was very nice. I didn't really see a lot of the other guests. I guess by the time I walked around, it was about 4:00, and it was towards the end of the con. So they're all probably walking around and finishing stuff up. I know Sam had a good time. Sam, did you have a favorite part other than the owl? Because I saw your pictures with the owl, and that was really, really great. Sarah also, her parents came, and it was their first con, and I could tell they were overwhelmed, but it was great. And her dad's like, "This is small." I'm like, "Yeah, it's small." I'll have to ask Jessica later what the attendance number was. I think that would be really neat too. I know cons are big into attendance numbers. You pet the gator? Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think they were holding him when I was walking around at one point. So yeah, it was a wonderful time. I was going to do a separate little Heroes for Kids video, but I guess I can put this onto playlist, and I can tell people, hey, if you want to know our comments on Heroes for Kids Con of 2022, and so you can definitely go to 2023, then yeah, definitely let us know. And Jessica, Lonnie's hint that you about stabbed him for, I didn't get it. Like, that was pretty generic. But Lonnie's going to test the waters. He's Superman. I did have someone. I think it was a teenager. I don't think he was a kid, but he was asking me if because I said I knew Superman because I saw Lonnie walking around or like running around in the distance like he was the whole time. And he's like, "Oh, if you're friends with them, can you ask him to fly?" And I said, "I'm afraid not." I said, his wife actually keeps kryptonite in her pocket so he doesn't lose control and start flying around the building because that would be unsafe." And he looks at me and he's like, "Wow, that's brilliant." So you guys are still making people happy, which I know you do, but yay, props for you guys. Good job. Let's see. Like I said, Sam, if you're still on, I would love to know what you liked about Heroes for Kids. I only got 3 stickers from 2 different places, and they were both people I knew. I definitely looked around. I thought about a balloon, especially when he had the Red Ranger. I'm like, I would love to ask them to make a pink, but and their prices were wonderful. They're such a sweet couple. They were my neighbors on the left at my first SemoCon, so it was great to see him again. But I'm like, I just can't. I need to save for Fanboy, and I can't validate. I would ask for a Pink Ranger for sure, but actually, my last one lasted. My Sailor V lasted for a long time, and the Spock that they gave me for free because they had to leave, I gave to my dad as a joke gift. He actually really liked him, and he lasted for a long time too. So they did a good job. So that was great. One day I'm gonna ask Mr. Bob to do a caricature, but I don't know what costume I want. So I'll have to. That's what I'm deciding. Plus, I'd have to find time to sit still for him. Now showing off the autographs to a person. I got to meet so many wonderful people. It was absolutely amazing. I will say that I still have my little baggie because I'm going to take the snacks with me. I have a book signing in Festus at Books Galore on Saturday from 10:30 to 1:30. It's a used book and media store, and they are awesome people. I haven't been in there since my second book was published, and then I showed them how many I had because my rates back then were lower, and I finally said, I need to up those if that's okay, the charges, because I have almost 9 books out now. And so I kind of was defending myself, and they go, "Oh, that makes sense." So I think we're keeping the rate the same for the first 2 books because that's what I wrote in my contract with them. But with the new contract, we have a different one. So let's see. I can show you guys what I got real quick. But yeah, this Saturday in Festus at Books Galore. So it's 10:30 to 1:30, and it's just a wonderful place. And there's gonna be 2 other female authors there from St. Louis, so it's like a girl power, like local girl power thing you can do. But yeah, like look at this. We got this little bag, so I got like Chips Ahoy. So I had 1 bag left from my snackies from the con. So peanuts. I like peanuts. Teddy Grahams. This is like name brand stuff, guys. Gummies, Gummy Smiles. My kids love those. And a whole bunch of Jolly Ranchers in here, different flavors. And none of them were orange or cherry. Can't have orange because I'm allergic and I hate cherry. So I was like, man, they are awesome. And my name on the table. I always like seeing my name on stuff at cons. It makes me feel so official. And I got some pamphlets about Perryville. I still need to go to the veteran wall. So Jessica, I know we've talked about doing an Anastasia photo shoot. You said there's a good spot in Perryville. I can do like a real romantic royal one. So I need to like just come down there for like a day or half a day and do a photo shoot with you guys, see the wall, maybe go out to eat with you when you have time. And then that's from Eric. So I can show you guys that in a minute. But yeah, like this little goodie bag's incredible. So I absolutely love it. Yeah, there we go. See, that's it. So I'm definitely taking these snackies with me in my little Sakura that I got, or my cherry blossom insulated lunch bag that I got. I just realized one of these books I put back is upside down. I got that out a week ago. For shame. I'm a bad reader. I fix it. Okay. So the things I got, I already showed them on Facebook, but I thought I would show them on here. if I go. I get stuff from these artists all the time. These two girls are real sweet. So this is a real fluffy, majestic looking Flareon. I already got the Vaporeon. They had Jolteon too, so they have the original 3 evolutions, although Jolteon's just not my favorite. And then our little beret water duck that's coming out. I forgot his name, so I apologize. He's coming out in November for Gen 9. I actually like all the aesthetics or concepts for these new starters. Gen 8, which was Galar, the latest one, I didn't love a lot of them. Like Cinderace was by far the most appealing to me, but even then I wasn't like in love with him. So I actually can't decide if I want him or if I want the little grass puppy, because I've never picked a grass starter, just because compared to the other choices, I always either prefer the water or the fire. Nothing against grass Pokemon, but I don't know. So I might have to see hopefully they'll reveal their final forms at least. And then that can help me decide. I do like that the fire one is like related to chili peppers. So that's really exciting. So I got those from them. I got like a Hex Girl poster from them and back in April and some other stickers. They always recognize me. They're real shy, but they're real sweet girls. Oh, I got a Yuri on Ice poster from them as well. So yeah, they're really great. And then my beautiful friend Brie, beautiful. So we're going to have to find time to hang out before I go back to school, because we were hugging. We're like, I miss you too. And she just finished moving. So I always get at least one thing from her, and she's out of room on her Pokemon Squishmallow. There's the word I was looking for. Squishmallow stickers. But she had my boy Teddy Ursa, and it's a holo, because she has regular and holo, which for some of them, and some she has the shiny versions. And she has almost all the evolutions, if not. Okay, I've got quite a few of them over there. I've got Butterfree, shiny Butterfree from the anime, Umbreon, Espeon, Glaceon, Snorlax, Squirtle, Gengar, shiny Gengar. I got a Charmander one that I gave to a student who was doing really good on his schoolwork because he loves Pokemon. So she's got a lot of them. I think I have a Pikachu. I think he's hiding behind the fan. I think my fan got pushed up somehow. Probably socks. She plays in here sometimes. But yeah, so I love these designs. She said, I was the first one to buy Teddy Ursa. And she's like, I love him. And I said, I know, I love him too. Skitty's her favorite. I might have to get a Skitty for her, my ponytail. But even like I bought a $3 sticker from her. She always gives these little bags, which I have found them on Amazon now. I got the sky blue and hot pink, or like magenta. No, it's just regular pink. She puts her card, which is fabulous. She puts 2 pieces of candy. I got an orange lifesaver, which I can't have, so I gave it to Derek. But Tootsie Roll, and I was like, she just goes all out. And then she sometimes gives like a little free print. So I have, there's 2 of them now. I got the witch at the Cape Con, and this is the newest one, this little devil girl, which is beautiful. I know Sam really liked this one. So I'll have to see if she has any more, Sammy. Or you can buy like a $2 or $3 Pokemon sticker and get candy in this with it. So, which is pretty awesome. So she's got other stickers too. I think she's got some from Miyu-chan. But I think they're mostly Pokemon. But she does a lot of cool prints. She actually, I hired her to do about 6 or 7 for my fan book for Hunter and Bringer. So you'll be seeing her works from my works, which I'm so excited about. And she read my books and she actually really liked them. So that was just an honor for her to do that. All right. So there's my author friend with his bike. His name's Larry Hoy. He seems to be like kind of like a horror writer. So I think him and Samurai Dan would be really good friends. So I got his information here. It's LarryHoy.net. It says biker rider lit. I told you he was legend. I didn't know that at the time. And then Rusk. Oh, I can't talk tonight. Rusk Explode. It's supposed to be Rusk and the word explode, but they took the E out. So Russ Explode, he was awesome. He had a Cowboy Bebop shirt, so we connected about anime. and we were talking about classic animes like that and Outlaw Star, which is great. So he got both of my books from the first book from both of my series. He's going to read them and wants to do a video review so I can share them. And he has a web show. So he said he might try to get me on that, which would be great. So absolutely that. And then SEMOCon was there representing. Chris is taking pictures. Chris is always awesome. Chris Pence is supporting SEMOCon. I know the year before Mr. Bill was doing it. Love Mr. Bill too. So I already have my table and my hotel ready for SEMOCon. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday in September. It's the 16th through the 18th. So I will definitely be there, and I'm really stoked for that. And then we have like a comic book / kind of like figure store that's right across the hall from our board game, card game, used books, and D&D Pathfinder role-playing, thank you, store. So that's really cool. But he was handing these out. He was there. His name is Chris also. And it's MaxCon, which MaxCon did 2 years back 5 years ago. So they're trying it again, this time at the factory. So the table spaces aren't too expensive. I am thinking of attending. It's only one day. It's Saturday, August 13th, which is coming up in Farmington, Missouri. And it's 10 to 6. And it's free to get in. So you can look around. I don't know if they're having events. They might be. But you can come in. And definitely there's some people selling stuff. If you're a vendor or no vendors, the highest they go is a 10 by 10 space for $40. And you can get multiple tables. So don't think you can't. But you can also get just like a 4 by 10 space for $25, which is awesome. So yeah, so that's going on in Farmington if you just want like a 1 day Saturday thing. But it's free to get in, so you can come and check it out. Please bring money. Okay, like if you want to buy something, bring money. I feel bad for cons that have cheaper admission or free admission. I don't know. I know a lot of people are first timers. They don't understand. I'm so glad they're going to a con, but I'm like, well, I didn't know I needed to bring money to this thing other than coming in. So I was like, okay, there's no events. So I was like, what do you expect? Again, I'm not trying to be mean, but I hear it all the time. And a lot of the time it's from, teenagers and college kids. I've heard adults do that too, or they get upset that you're charging them for your product. They're like, hey, I spent $5 to get in. I was like, well, yeah, but that's for the people organizing this, not for me as the individual. So I'm sorry, you got to make money for your art or your passion. So yeah, you're right. Michael, yeah, you're absolutely right. E&A Collectibles. Yep. Farmington's got a lot of cool geeky stuff, which we got at least 3 places for when the card shops open at the hallway in the factory. So that's where the nerdy stuff is. And then I do love my vendor's badge for Heroes for Kids. I love that Lonnie and Jess always have the biggest badges I ever deal with in the year. I love that they're detailed and colorful and really nice. It kept flipping on me, but that's to be expected. A lot of my badges, no matter what they're made out of or their size, they flip. It just kind of happens, and I have so many lanyards, but I use them for decoration or emergencies in my office. But my only, not a complaint, but little tiny conundrum I have is I always hang these up with my autographs back in the corner there, and I'm already running out of room. And when the badges get big like this, I either have to, I don't know where to put them, or I have to trim them. And this year, like I could trim, like if I take them out of the casing, which I don't like. I do that anyway sometimes, but I can trim a little bit of this white part up, but I can't. I can't trim that much, which I don't want to because it's so beautiful. Oh, I just said it's volume 3 to represent year 3 since it's like a comic book. Oh, nice job, guys. I'll find a place for it. Don't worry about it. I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to do. My first fanboy badge is real fancy. Like last year's wasn't as fancy because I guess they had lower attendance because we were coming back from COVID. But my first year, it was like a fancy badge. So I had to almost like laminate it. It was so fancy. And then I got an artist to autograph it on top of it. So there's that. But yeah, there's just that kind of thing right there. So I enjoyed it a lot. Sarah liked hers, made her look official. I don't think the other people, I don't think the attendees had a badge or a wristband. I don't remember. Right. But I think a lot of badges do that. Like sometimes the ones that go this way, it could be the exact same material as a regular size badge, but just because it's this way, it tends to flip easier. But sometimes it depends. I've had silky ones, I've had plastic ones, I've had almost cardboard feeling ones. I've had some in sleeves, some's not in sleeves. You don't even have to use a lanyard technically. Like my friend Tabby hates the lanyard. So she has like a safety pin retractable thingy she clips on her body and just make sure it's there because she does cosplay and they're very elaborate cosplay. So the lanyards often cover up her cosplay. So, and technically they usually say as long as it's on your body somewhere, you got to have it on you, but then it's fine. I do like C-Mode just does the little bracelets. Fanboy gave us the bracelets one year, the first year, because we were VIP. And I think it was for access to something. And we only stayed 2 days that year. But I was like, I know I take a shower and they're like, oh, they're fine. Like, it didn't feel plasticky. It felt like just that paper you get when you go to the bowling alley, which, is hard to get on and hard to get. I feel like an animal trying to rip it off. And I took a shower because I'm like, I have to take a shower. I don't want to stink. But they're just like, oh, it'll be fine if it gets wet. I'm just sitting here like, oh my God. I'm so nervous. I'm going to ruin it. And then one con, I think I had to cut it off. And I showed it to him and explained I had to take a shower and it was too tight anyway. And they go, oh, well, no worries. So they lift me up and they got me a new one. But it's just kind of amazing what you deal with for conventions. I'm sure I'm totally helping newbies out with conventions. But yeah. And then Eric, he gave me a little bonus comic, limited edition, which for free, and which was great. So now I even have this little bonus comic to go with the stories that I have for his zombie full world of Oz. It's like a steampunk version. So, and Stone Door Studios, which is even his packaging had this logo like inked on the cardboard. It wasn't just like a stamp. It was like custom made inked on there. And I was like, wow, he must actually work for a big company. And I asked him, he goes, no, it's just me. I own my own imprint. I was just like, I own my own imprint. He goes, no way. But I want to be him one day. And then he gave me information on how they print their comics to make them look so great. So I might have to look into that one day. I would love it if Spirit Vision or Hunter and Bringer was a manga, but again, you think an audiobook's expensive, guys. Then I had to find an artist who fits my style and follows the story, but I don't hinder their aesthetic, and we agree. I think that would be harder than just doing a cover illustration. They're totally different beast. I know most of the time people who do covers often for manga also do the illustrations, but I don't know. Because I definitely would want a manga style, which would be really fun. But yeah, I'll show off Eric's, Mr. Hawkins, comics. I think in the video after this one, I'll do a quick little Etsy/independent creator one for that and show that off. So I think that will be fun. Okay. Oh, I am wearing a new purple shirt. So I love Kiki's Delivery Service. I love Studio Ghibli in general. We watched Castle in the Sky last Sunday. Yay! For our monthly girls group. It was Lacey's first time hosting. She did fantastic. I get to host August. So I'm excited for that. I have so many anime to choose from. Manga was a little trickier because I started reading manga back in high school. I was 15, I think. And I forget that that was 18 years ago. So a lot of my favorite series when manga was starting to get big in the early 2000s are out of print or really hard to find or expensive, or you got to get like the giant limited anniversary editions. And we only just read one volume. So I never want to make them spend a whole bunch of money. I know some of them read it on their phones or on like a Kindle or ebook reader, but some of us don't like that. So I need to find things that people can have both options. So I found one that's a couple years old that I think is on hiatus, which stinks because I love it, but I think they'll enjoy it. But I'm excited about that. So I went for a little anime style. I'm always looking for purple shirts for Lupus Month, so this will be a new one for Lupus Month. I got these butterflies at the end of Lupus Month. I got 4 of them, but they all go the same way, which makes me kind of sad. So I was hoping they could go like there's 2 and 2, but Amazon missed an opportunity. My hair's kind of wavy from my shower, so I got half up, half down. And then I got Gigi from Kiki's Delivery Service with beautiful flowers on this tank. And he's looking up at Kiki, his mistress, on my necklace. That's her symbol. So I thought actually the way I positioned it almost looked like he's gawking at her in love and awe. So that's what I was doing. Hi, Mom. Glad you could join us. I don't know how long you've been on, but glad you could join us. So, yeah. And then I got I've had this since like 6th grade or something. It's purple with swirls, like holographic swirls in it. It gets caught in my hair sometimes because it's like a real thick plastic. But I try to be cute. So try to look professional for you guys, but nerdy. So all that fun stuff. I do want to show you guys if you did the Kickstarter or just want to get these one day, I might add them on the Patreon. I'm not sure. But we do have the 2 organizations in Hunter and Bringer. We have, of course, the Hunters and the Bringers. The Hunters have the silver emblem and the Bringers have the bronze. So I'm not spoiling anything. I'm not trying to. But a 3rd organization is mentioned. So for the Kickstarter, the first goal was to get that sticker, and I didn't reveal it until later. But now the stickers are actually in. So again, I'm trying to angle it. There we go. So you can kind of see the design. This will be on a Kickstarter update. So if you were on my Kickstarter, then you can go to the update later and see the nice digital format and the picture of the sticker itself. It's a 3-inch one, so same size as the other 2, nice and big. If you ever in the future want all 3 of them, you can get them for $12 with shipping, which is a pretty good deal. I did have a special during the Kickstarter. You got them all for $10 with free shipping. But again, they're nice, big, glossy stickers. You're going to show your support for the Hunters and the Bringers and this new organization, which I just put their Latin name at the top for a little mystery there. Well, it's Latin and Japanese, so that's a mixture actually. So if you haven't read the 2nd book, you'll have to read that. If you do, please don't spoil it for our friends because we definitely don't want that. Other things coming up. So since we got about 8 minutes left, so let's see. We are going to have on Thursday, you're going to have another Throwback Thursday / exclusive just for you guys, which I'm excited about. I don't remember the top of my head. Oh, I remember what it is. I had to think. And I used some of you guys to help me with it. So for those who helped, thank you. If you don't see the one that you submitted and you did submit one, I'm going to be using it in the future for the website, my author website, and for if I do blog tours and virtual tours or promotional stuff. So thank you, but I'll be showing an early sneak peek at that. And then we'll have a selfie Saturday or Sunday. I've been doing either or depending on how busy. It'll probably be Sunday again because I have the book signing in Festus on Saturday. But it'll be Sunday sometime. I think it's going to be one with nature. So I'm going to have to try to find a place that's real pretty and flowery, hopefully with shade. And take a few quick selfies and then get back in air conditioning because Lupus and I are not happy right now. And then next week, if you're a Shining Star, which is the $10 tier, we have our monthly game, which if you guys are not a $10 tier and are interested in upgrading, it's really easy to do. This one I'm actually really stoked about. So it's Wednesday the 27th, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. My Shining Stars will actually, like a couple of days before, be getting directions if they want to participate in the first half so they can be prepared. And then we'll finish it during the interactive game on next Wednesday, the 27th, for the second half. And the person who can collect the most of what I'm asking is going to get a very special prize. So I'm really stoked for that. So that's if you're a Shining Star $10 tier. If you're not, it's not that I don't love you, but it's just a perk that they get. And you can always become a $10 tier person because I know some of you are 7, some of you are 3. If you ever want to switch, don't feel obligated, but I've switched my patronage amounts often when people are like, oh, I opened the new tier or this tier changed. So you just go in and change it. And then I think it does it. It takes whatever amount. If you go up, it'll take, like, let's say you go from a 7 to a 10, it takes the $3 out right away. But that way you get the perk for the 10 right away. You don't have to wait for the first. So just something fun we're doing, little interactive hunt, if you will, for my Shining Stars on Wednesday. And then our final Throwback Thursday for the summer, the last Thursday, is something I've been working on for a long time. It's a video that only you guys get to look at. So I'm real excited. You are getting a very private sneak peek into my world. So I hope you enjoy that. And then, of course, there's the interviews coming on my actual website, which should be out at the end of the month for Logan and Lexi. So you want to learn about Logan and Lexi and their lives and narrating and all the amazing things that they've done and their experiences. You can look at that. I'll be sending links on my Facebook. Geeky Cool, I have an article coming out in a couple days. And then I have to do at the end of the month, there'll be like a Kickstarter thing for Geeky Cool review for them, because I've been trying to keep track of that with them as well. And there'll be a Kickstarter update in a couple days as well for the stickers. The cosplay prints are in if you order the extra stretch goal cosplay prints. If not, they will be on the Kickstarter in March, so you can save for that. And all I got to do is, there's a couple people who need perlers that I have to make by hand. So I'll have to set time for that. But right now I want to finish this manuscript. So I'll probably make the perlers in early August, and then I'll ship all the physical things out. And then until we get our date set for the interview, and then the ebook copy of the new book comes out, I think that's it. And then, of course, the audiobook. So we have 3 things we're waiting on. But then we're pretty much done with all the goals. And I was worried, like, oh my gosh, it's been taking me like 4 or 5 months. And I had most people have been real patient, a couple people kind of being impatient. And my friend Brian, who's supported Kickstarters for years, laughed. He goes, honey, I've got some that they take 2 years to get done. So you're doing great. So I'm like, okay. But I guess that's one thing about an audiobook, it's audio. But I try to get as many fun physical perks. And if you guys liked my Kickstarter prizes, please let me know. I've got some new ideas for Monsters and Mortals. That one will definitely be a harder one to get the goal, because it's a lot bigger. But I hope we can do it, because Lexi and Logan really want to work on it. I want to work on it. And I think after you guys hear the first book and the magic that they bring to the characters, that you guys are going to want it too. So I really do appreciate that. Okay. I don't know if you guys have any questions, comments. I haven't decided the theme for Patreon in August yet. I like the summer theme going. I know September's going to be show off your pet month. So I'm going to have just lots of little fun selfies and challenges with socks. And I'd love to see what you guys do with your pets. if you have pets or animals that you like or animals that you know. So I think that would be really cool. Oh, hi, Julie. Yes, yes. So I love that Julie says that because just from the little bit I talk about, Jeremy is definitely like the pretty boy, like all the girls swoon over him. He's fine with it. He's totally fine with it. But uh Julie, I hope you're okay with me telling the story about when you first heard Logan in the car. Because, Julie was like, I love the books. I don't know if I need the audiobooks. I don't always listen to audiobooks. That's fine. Some people were like, Morgan, I only listen to your books. Like, 'cause I don't have time or I love audiobooks. Or, Morgan, I don't like audiobooks at all. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. Now I have three media. You have three media, though, to do the story. You have paperback, ebook, and audio, or we're getting there. So I was like, Julie, just listen to the sample. Just listen to the sample. Like, that's fine if you don't want to buy it, but just listen to it. And, she's listening, and I could tell she's liking Lexi doing Val. But then the second that Logan finishes Jeremy's first line with Little Robin, I just kind of, even though it's dark, when I barely glance because I'm driving, but it's dark. And I kind of see, like, from the side of my profile, like, her face. And she looks at me and she's like, can he read my name in the credits? Yeah, you definitely can. And I told him that night. I said, Logan, you already got a fan. Because me, him, and Lexi have a group chat. And Lexi was laughing. She goes, that's so adorable. And he's just like, okay. Like, he's just like, thanks, I guess. I said, no, my friend Julie says you have to read her name in the credits. And he's like, oh, I'll happily do that. And I was like, no, you're not getting it. And Lexi was laughing because she understood. So, yeah. So that should tell you how great these people are. And I think Lexi has brought kind of this suave sophistication to Val that I didn't know she was there inside her. So I really like that. I might tell her like to play up the nerd a little bit more when we get more to those scenes. But yeah, you made him feel a little awkward, Julia. I think he was just confused because he's like, okay, that was several months ago. So he's like, he has 3 kids and they would have been 7, 5, and 2 months. So I guess he doesn't think of himself as like, oh yeah, I'm so sexy. He's real nice. They're so nice. They are just sweet, supportive people. And Abby's a doll, my narrator for Spirit Vision. So I love them to pieces. Yeah, she definitely takes a little more mature turn than I took for Val in my mind. But I think as long as she gets the nerdum in and doesn't get too serious with that, which is something I'll talk to her with, then I think she's going to do great. But her telling off Darrington already, she does really good with that. And the way they interacted in the video, which I think that's what you watched too, Julie, was the video. When he calls her like Val Nala Cupcake and they're fighting for my Kickstarter video. I love that. Like, I've watched that video so many times, and it wasn't for my stupid voice and face. Trust me, I don't want to see this all the time or hear this. It was for Jeremy and Val. Lexi and Logan, they didn't have to do that. Like, they're not paid to do that. They're not paid to do these extra interviews. I ask them, I try to give them plenty of warning, and they're like, yeah. And they said, you promote your book so much, you have so much passion, and you support us. And I was like, well, why wouldn't I? They said, well, we don't get that a lot. And I'm like, that breaks my heart. I wonder if that's because I support voice actors so much, and I grew up listening to them and their commentary on the hard process and behind the scenes and bringing these characters to life and how much they invest in it. I'm going on a little rant again. I'm sorry. So I'll be quick. But I know, like, Jodie Benson, who does Ariel in Little Mermaid, she said back even in the late 80s, Disney didn't want you to advertise like, I did the voice for this character. Okay. That's why they try to get like Broadway performers a lot of the time. They didn't get quite weren't into like the big name actors, like, Hollywood actors that people know their faces of back then. They tried to get like Broadway performers and singers, which Jodie Benson was doing at the time. They didn't want kids to get disconnected to the magic. So they wanted to be like, that's Ariel. That's her voice on screen. She's a real person. There's not some magical person behind the microphone, even though it's a cartoon. Like, they didn't want that illusion. Jodie Benson talked about that in the panel when I met her at Fanboy in 2018 in Knoxville, and heard her sing Part of Your World live. Oh, I cried. Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. But yeah, so that movie helped bring the Disney Renaissance, and people wanted to know, who does this voice, who does like Eric, like they wanted to know. And that slowly started the revolution of Disney getting like bigger, like on-screen actors voice roles, or people seeking out who they are, and the actors actually getting credit for voicing the characters. Like, they got a paycheck for it, but they often didn't get more than like a title screen credit. Like, I know Snow White, she hardly got any money, even back in the 30s. And then she got contracted with Disney that she could never do any other work outside of Disney again. And then the few times like she tried even for commercials, they didn't want her because they knew her as the voice of Snow White. So it was even voice acting, whether it be for anime where you worry about the dubbing and doing it right by the Japanese and American audiences, or just our own narration. And I've lost two people probably because I'm boring them, has really evolved. So and Lexi are doing something for me that my book's already written. It's been written. My story, I've told this story. Val and Jeremy's story is told. Okay. And people know that I wrote it. Like, it's good when you lose yourself in a book and forget that you're reading a book. I totally agree with that. But I don't think authors have that problem the same as like voice actors do. Because with voice actors, you see and hear the characters. So the fact that they were just thanking me for advertising them as much as I am, and wanting to get them involved in this process of the audiobook. I mean, without them, there's no audiobook. So it just baffles my mind. So they said authors will advertise when it's done, or that it's coming, and that they're grateful. But I'll just send like, hey, how's it going? Like, oh, I saw like Logan took his kids to their first baseball game like last week. So I comment on that. Lexi was having a hard day. So I sent her like a little virtual hug and we started talking. She's growing lettuce for the first time in her garden. I mean, they're people. So, and I think maybe that's why they're willing to do these little things for me. Because like I said, my big thing that I want from being a creative person is that I can support other creatives and understand them. And I can nourish another generation. Like, I can encourage them. I can, answer their questions. I joke, if you want to be a ballerina astronaut, and kids laugh, I'm like, no, you're going to be a ballerina astronaut. If you're passionate about it and you work hard, we will find a way and get those degrees for you. I guess that's the dreamer in me, but I also will make it happen. The realist in me might take some trial and error, but we'll get there. So Lexi was thanking me yesterday too, because I had a little sign on my table, because the Spirit Vision audiobook's done, and it has a little sign that said, hey, grab the audiobook on Audible by Abby Anderson. And even my publicist is like, you usually don't put the narrators' names on there. And I said, well, I need it on there. And I wasn't mean, but I was firm. And she goes, okay. And now I'm actually seeing it pop up more the past year or so. The narrators, maybe not on like the big companies, but the narrators, especially even like the Amazon and Amazon bestsellers even, are putting the names of the narrators on there. And I'm like, it's our project. So again, there would not be an audiobook without them. Like, my voices are good. Like, I can do fun impressions. I can be dramatic and read. And I could probably do it, but I get tired easily. I don't have the equipment. I don't have the experience. And I get tongue-tied. I haven't had that professionalism of learning how to speak like that. So that'd be and the equipment, especially. So I'm fine with them doing it and just working together. And they like Abby's really great. She wants to make sure everything's perfect. We spent like 20 minutes discussing how we want to do the villain's voice in Spirit Vision 2. I was like 5 different references. They were all anime villainesses, granted. And she's like, "Oh, I like that one. Oh no, okay. Oh, okay. So I see what you're saying. Maybe like take this one down an octave, but give her the intensity of this one." I'm like, yeah. I'm like, think about like your hair maniacally blowing in the wind and eyes going purple, like this Sailor Moon villainess. And she's like, oh my gosh, I love her. Okay, so then what do we do with this voice? Well, what about this character? I haven't thought about that character. So I do like that I was involved in this process probably more than a lot of other authors. So, and I love that Abby is like so attention to detail. We spent like 20 minutes trying to say this Korean name that I put in there, and I felt so bad for her. I was like, okay, when I wrote this like 8 years ago, I didn't think someone would have to read it out loud. And now I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to offend a nation. And I'm just like, I hope with her acting, she could figure it out. We found pronunciation videos, but we're both like, oh my God. Lexi and Logan a little more professional, like in how they like different how they do things. Not that Abby's learning. No, she doesn't have much experience, but she's already top tier. Oh my gosh, but man, Lexi and Logan are just like, yeah. Once their schedule opens up, they're gonna knock it out in like 3 weeks and then edit it and it'll be up. So I won't get to really hear each chapter like I did with Abby. But they said I can always voice concerns. So I probably might ask to hear like the second chapter where you're introduced to all the characters, at least the 6 main characters at that point. And I kind of want to again make sure like Lexi gets the nerdiness of it, or she's okay to be overly emotional in her monologue. Like I know some people are like, no, voice actors and narrators have to be more monotone so you understand. Girl, if my character's crying and cussing the planet out, you can fake cry and cuss the planet out. Like, be a novella, like a telenovela. Like, porque, like, I don't care. Like, that's fine. Get that emotion in there, because when I act even jokingly with my kids, I am like a cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs of emotion, like all over the place. But that's what the character is doing. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Andy. Yeah, I did have a lot of fun with my podcast. I went on a big old tangent. I was supposed to be done, guys, like 12 minutes ago. I am so sorry. But that was fun. So we're going to label this video Heroes for Kids 2020 Comic-Con review / what it means to be a narrator. Like, or no, the importance of narrators. I think that's going to be the title. Yeah, I think I am going to share this one publicly on my author playlist, if you guys are cool with that. Speaking of Spirit Gun, Yu Yu Hakusho is getting a Netflix series, and it's Japan's working on it, and they've already shown 3 of the main guys, and they look rockin' in their cosplays and outside their cosplays. So even though some of the people, are worried about it with all the past Netflix has done with anime, since this one Japan is working on, has a heavy hand in, I'm happy about it. So the Spirit Gun made me think of that. Okay, so let's see. If he's nice, high points, but the voice, he's got Jeremy's. You're right, Julie. I think you did a good job. I liked his Kessler a lot too. I only got to hear him do one line as Gillian. So we'll have to see. I gave him some reference videos for that character. Kessler, I'm just like, just be like timid Peter Parker. And he's like, oh my God, I love Marvel. He's like, I'm so into that. And then with Jeremy, I was like, okay, give me Tony 4 and Captain America rolled into one. And he's like, I love that. I'm on it. So that's Jeremy. I never realized, I'm like, if those 3 had a baby, that would be Jeremy, basically. Yeah, and then Galeon's actually based on a Kingdom Hearts villain. So I sent him the voice actor who does that. I sent him some lines from the second game where he's in primarily. I said, I like the butchiness of this, but we need to tone it down to make it a little more suave. But I like his attitude and his nicknames. But maybe add a little bit of Nick Fury in there. And he really liked that too. So once I found out he loved Marvel, it was easy to communicate that. So that's why you need to be friends with your narrator. Some people were talking about how you shouldn't be friends with your artists, like as professional first, and then maybe friendship. I'm the opposite. And maybe I'm doing it wrong, but it works for me. So whatever makes a good product, right? I did have a really fun experience, and then I'll let you guys off, I promise. So thank you, Mom. And thank you, Michael, for not needing to apologize. So at the convention, there was this young lady. I was finally doing my rounds about 3:30. I was trying to find my friend Bree, but she was gone. I turned in the middle aisle where I was, and at the very end, I saw my neighbor with the motorbike like flagging me down, and Sarah stood up, and I saw a young lady in like this purple dress, not purple, rainbow dress, and she was standing there, and I walked over, and I was like, okay, she's in this really frilly rainbow dress. This is my type of person, so I hope she's here to see my table. And I said, hi, how can I help you? And I could tell she was a young lady, she was taller than me, and she was like wringing her hands like this, but smiling, and she was just kind of looking, and she's like, do you remember me? And I'm like, oh God. I looked at her for a second, and then she said, I bought your book 3 years ago. And I was like, oh yeah, hi, nice to see you. Wow, you've gotten taller. Generic stuff, because I'm like, I don't remember. I'm sorry. But I asked how she was, and we were talking, and she said, I bought your book when I was obsessed with graphic novels, but I got out of those for a while, but now I'm into them, and I went back and read your book, and I'm on chapter 6. And I said, oh, chapter 6 was one of my favorites to write. So I talked about the behind the scenes with chapter 6, and she seemed to enjoy that. And she kept like doing her hands again. She still had my old business card, which was really sweet. So I gave her an updated one with all my social medias. And then she's finally like, can I ask you a question? And I said, well, of course you can, sweetie. And then she finally, like, almost like an anime where you finally just get your energy. Like it's a quiet shout, but it definitely was full of passion. She's like, how did you become the greatest author in the world? And I was like, I want to adopt you. I even covered my mouth, and Sarah's eyes were like glistening, and my neighbor was even watching. I saw him smiling in my side vision, and I was like, "Oh!" So I went, "Well, one, thank you very much. You're gonna make me blush." I said, "I don't believe that, but it means a lot. I try my best." I said, "I just write about what I like, and it means a lot to have people like you support me." So we talked about her favorite character. Her favorite character is Umbra. She likes how pouty he is and powerful and sassy. And I was like, yeah, that's Umbra. But she was great. Real sweet. Her parents didn't have enough money to buy her a book. But I told her, well, it's online. I'll be at CMOCon, or I'll definitely be here next year. I said my author email's on there. If you ever want to email me questions about the book, you're more than willing to. I swear her eyes got like 3 sizes that day, like the Grinch. And she's like, really? And I said, well, yeah. And she's like, oh my God, thank you. And I thought she was gonna cry. And I'm just like, okay. So then she left. And then my guy with the bike behind me, my fan, he did this, and he's grinning. He's like, I'm jealous. And I was like, that was very sweet and unexpected. So my heart was really light and elated. And he's like, a lot of people have fans. A lot of people have good, wonderful fans. But a lot of authors don't have super pure fans. I just got to witness that. He goes, I've never had that. He goes, you did a good thing. You've done something right. And for somebody who he travels to cons, like he's got one in Tennessee this upcoming weekend. Next weekend, he's in Dayton, Ohio. That meant a lot. So I was just like, aw. So then I walked around some more, and I was with Bree finally, and then she came up and talked to me again, and she said, "I've been reading all your behind the scenes and interviews, and is it okay if I ask you a question? It's really important to me." And but she was so embarrassed. I'm like, "Well, yeah." So she asked me a question, but I couldn't answer it because it gave a spoiler. So I gave her like a little hint, but it does seem to suffice her. And then when I finally went back to my table, like 4:15, she finally came back, and her dad came with her. And she points to the second book, and she's like, "I would like to buy this book, please." And I looked at her dad, and he finally goes, because she was like begging her mom, and her mom felt bad telling her no. I could tell, and I get it. Finances, like I totally understand stuff like that. So she got the second book. I asked her her name, and then I remembered her because she goes, "It's Chloe," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And I said, "That's my best friend's character's name in the book." She goes, "I know." I said, "Are you boy crazy like Chloe?" She goes, "Well, kinda." And she kind of looked at her dad, and he just kind of rolled his eyes. So that was sweet. And I signed her book to Chloe. I gave her like a real sweet message, and she was just watching me the whole time. We got a picture together, and I let her hold a copy of Spirit Vision and the new book she got. And then I gave her a free Umbra bookmark just because she'd been so sweet. And I didn't charge the dad tax, just which I could tell he greatly appreciated. Like he said thank you. He didn't smile, but like I saw his eyes look kind of relieved. And I love doing that. I think that's another reason I love doing conventions and connecting with people. Yes, I want profit, obviously. But it's about my book getting out there for myself, but also seeing if I can make someone happy, even just for a second, or maybe a lifetime. Maybe this will be one of her favorite series. That might be egocentric of me to say, but the moment was really touching. And I do have moments like that. It was great to have one again because I haven't got to have one in a while. I was like, well, she's 14. She'll probably change her mind in like a year. But I do have some young people that still follow me. Well, until they're older. So, which is really exciting. But that was really sweet. Yeah, especially an Umbra fan. And yes, Julie, you'll get all of the Jeremy because Logan's doing a great interview. I already posted up his things on the post. It should be up on my website at the end of the month. Just waiting for Lexi to do hers. So it'll be a double special interview post. All right, guys. Sorry for the random rambling about narrators. Thanks for listening to Heroes for Kids review / just Q&A / talking about what's going on in the book process and all that stuff. Check out the next two Saturday or Sunday summer selfies. This week will be nature oriented, and then the last one will be your favorite place. So I can't wait for those. And of course, we have two special things coming up this Thursday and next Thursday on the Patreon page for exclusive / throwback. The last one is a real doozy. I'm letting you into a secret part of my life that I rarely show anybody, even my closest friends or family. So I am stoked about that because you guys show your love and support and passion for me, and I want to do the same. So you guys have a good night. Hearts. I'm going to do a quick little video about some from some Etsy creators to support them. And then I think I'm going to try to hit the hay. All right. You guys are beautiful, dazzling, shining stars. My Shining Stars tier, I'll see you Wednesday. You guys, I'll send you the along with your instructions. You're going to go on a secret mission, my friends. Winner gets a fabulous prize. All right. Thanks, Alicia. Hope you had fun. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Sam. You guys are awesome. Jessica, Lonnie, when you're on here, thank you. Mwah. Love you to the moon and back, guys. All right. Take care. Gigi, Kiki, and I say sayonara.